He is back. He's back with another Chronic Conversation React video. It's your boy Pete Rose, like I said. No need to say anymore. Today, Puffy trial started the other day, so you know I was going to cover the earth all day. Um, Yesterday was day one of his trial, and they had witnesses, testimony, jury selection. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this. Let's do our homework.
Deeper on who is in this 12-person jury that could decide the fate of Sean Combs, as well as the legal teams involved in this high-profile case. Here to break it all down for us is ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer, who's worked as a defense attorney here in New York City. You've also closely been following this case. You were in the courtroom today. Let's talk about this jury. 8 men, 4 women. What do we know about them?
So yeah, we actually know a lot. And as you pointed out, 8 men, and these are some of them. We know some of their jobs: massage therapists, retired telephone linemen. But aside from gender and employment, the other thing I want to focus on is age. We have a number of individuals who are over the age of 50. And the reason why I point that out is 2 things. One, it's pretty understandable. This is going to be a case that's going to last for 8 weeks. You got to think about who can take that much time off. The other aspect of that as well is when you're talking about consent, we as defense attorneys seem to see a difference between young people and their understanding of consent and older people. So this may benefit the defense to some degree. And of course, we have the women here as well, 4 of them, and 1 age 74.
Why do you think these jurors were chosen?
So sometimes when it comes to choosing a jury, it's not just choosing who it is on the jury, it's eliminating those you don't want to be on the jury. For the defense, I think they believe that these are individuals that are not just going to be unbiased, but also maybe lean towards their favor. For the government, they believe that based on the answers that these individuals gave, they're going to be able to achieve that conviction. So either side thinks they see someone favorable in this group.
Let's talk about the legal teams here. Let's start with the defense team.
Yeah, so we have some big names that you may know. Mark Agnifilo, you might know him from the XM Defense, where he represents Keith Raniere. Tenny Garagos, the last name may be familiar there as well. Mark Garagos' daughter. Alexander Shapiro is one of the appellate attorneys. And then here are some names that you might not know, or you may. Brian Steele, a bit of a...
Sure. Guess who's back? What? My nigga Brian Steele in the case. Listen, man, Brian's still out here working. Give my man his credit, man. Let's keep doing our homework. Let's go.
Famous defense attorney in Georgia, made even more famous in his defense of Young Thug, and Xavier Donaldson, a defense attorney who is very well known within the Southern District of New York here, as well as Manhattan, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. Anna, Jason, and Linda all rounding out the team as well and supporting the defense of Sean Combs.
Okay, now we have to talk about the prosecution. This is the Southern District of New York. I mean, they have a crazy high conviction rate. What can you tell us about this team?
So I know about the Southern District of New York, both as a contributor and as a defense attorney. Yes, conviction rate about 90-95%. So we have the interim U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton. He's not actually at the defense table, obviously the prosecution table, but he is the head of the Southern District of New York. And then you have other prosecutors as well. But I want to skip down just real quick because you might recognize the name, Maureen Comey. She's actually one of the lead government prosecutors in this case, the daughter of James Comey. And this is an all-women's team here. I don't think that was an accident, but it seems very powerful when they're arguing the case, when there are so many female alleged victims in this trial.
Yeah, let's talk about who we heard from today, a male escort, a former security guard. What does this tell you, if anything, about the prosecution's plan here?
2 things. One, they're laying the foundation for someone very important to testify. They want that video in, and they also want the individual who was allegedly forced to have sex with that male escort to be able to testify as to that event, that being Cassie. We believe, or I think it's pretty easy to assume, that she'll be testifying, if not first thing tomorrow morning, then at some point in time tomorrow. Now, that could be, in essence, to kind of like a strong, powerful witness. This is, as the prosecutor says, victim number 1, but it also could just be logistics because we know that she is pregnant, very much so, and they might want to just let her get in, out, and get out as quickly as well.
Yeah, I'll see.
No. If they're bringing Cassie first, who they got in the tuck? Who they ace card? Who the ace card? Who the king card? Because they're going to play those cards towards the end. So if Cassie is just the tip of the iceberg, What else do they got? Let's keep doing the homework. Let's go.
You can't travel too late into your pregnancy, one of those things that we all know about. Today, Cassie Venture's husband was actually seen leaving the courthouse. Tomorrow, we're expected to see her possibly taking the stand herself. That's pretty early in a case, right?
So it depends on the strategy. I can see why that would be perceived early.
I just said that.
Star witness. Why wouldn't you want to lay the groundwork for more evidence first before you have
True.
a major witness? But when it comes to convincing
More evidence.
the jury, oftentimes recency, meaning getting that information out there first, and frequency, how often you talk about it, is a great way to lock in that information to a jury. And then, of course, just timing. Life for her means that it's just to start sooner rather than later.
Brian Buckmeyer, always helpful. Thank you so much.
Mom, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today, Mom? How is your son?
Can't talk about the case at all.
All eyes are on this New York City courthouse as the federal trial for disgraced mogul Sean Diddy Combs begins.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs goes on trial today.
Combs is inside the courtroom along with those prospective jurors.
He faces multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking.
The musician famous for hits like Bad Boy for Life. And Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
Could we use your house to trial our 24-hour bathroom upgrade system? We're looking for homeowners within valid states to test our new 24-hour bathroom remodel.
Charged with sex trafficking, transportation for prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy, the 55-year-old has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Today was a monumental day when we're talking about Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. At one point, he also had the actual key to New York City. So to see him today facing trial on federal criminal charges is completely a downfall of who Puff Daddy, who Sean Combs was.
Prosecutors allege he used his power to force women into long, drug-fueled orgies he called freak-offs and threatened them into silence.
The freak-offs, according to prosecutors, were these sex marathons. Some of them lasted days, and they were fueled by ecstasy or other party drugs. And women were not allowed to leave.
Highly anticipated at the trial, the testimony of Cassandra Ventura, the singer better known as Cassie, was at the center of this now infamous video. The disturbing scene appears to show Combs chasing her down a hotel hallway in 2016, knocking her down and kicking her. The first evidence shown to jurors today, videos and photos from that violent encounter.
What? Man. Starting off. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say that. I'm gonna let the video play on so we can get some more information. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Let's continue do our homework. Let's go.
Everyone was leaning in and focusing and watching this video. Literally, you can hear a pin drop in that courtroom.
A security guard who came onto the scene in the aftermath of that attack testified that Diddy had a devilish stare and Cassie had a purple eye. Another witness alleging he was paid to have sex with Cassie while Diddy watched and told to urinate on Cassie.
You heard so much about sex during the prosecution's opening, the defense opening. You heard about oral sex. You heard about missionary style. You heard about baby oil being put on people's body. You heard so much. This is not a case for the prude.
Cassie and Diddy were in a romantic relationship for almost a decade, releasing hits like Me and You.
They know you're the one I wanna give it to. I can see you on me too. Now it's me and you.
Her graphic and disturbing 2023 civil lawsuit against Diddy changed everything, helping spur the federal criminal investigation into the mogul. Diddy has denied these allegations and settled that suit without admission of wrongdoing.
Mom, how are you feeling?
Diddy's mother and children arriving to court this morning to support him, along with Combs' spokesperson.
Obviously, this is like a horrific time for the family, so they're just trying to hold steady in their faith and make sure that they take care of each other.
And how is Mr. Combs feeling?
Upbeat. I think obviously this is a huge deal, and so he's just ready to have his side told in open court.
Inside the courtroom today, Diddy smiling and blowing kisses to his family.
He's very observant as to what's going on in the courtroom, and he's taken part in his defense.
Both sides delivered their opening statements, making their case. The all-female prosecution team saying that Combs used a trusted inner circle to commit crime after crime, including kidnapping, arson, and sex crimes.
What? Come on, Puff. Come on, bro. That's what they charge you with. Not saying you did any of that, but those allegations are crazy. That's all I'm saying. Those allegations are crazy. And if you're wondering why it's only sketches, in the federal courtroom, there are no cameras allowed. So they have people that sketch and draw what it looks like, going on. So what it looks like is Puff ain't got no Beijing no more. Look like he got all gray. What? Shh. This trial taking a toll on, bro. Let's keep doing our homework. Let's go.
Prosecutor Emily Johnson saying, "This is Sean Combs. To the public, he was Puff Daddy or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise."
The prosecution is alleging that it was his inner circle that enabled him to be able to engage in these acts, but also hide these acts from the public and for it to go on for so long.
Okay. Now, if they're saying it was his people around him that helped him with these acts, this is a RICO. If he's ahead of the RICO, where are the other co-conspirators? I'm just asking. They got said it themselves. This is from ABC News. That the other people did things in furtherance of the criminal enterprise. It's a RICO. He's on top. Where are the co-conspirators at? Where are the people that helped him out? Now, one theory I have is they all cooperated. They took deals so they don't have to take the stand, and they're no longer co-conspirator. They're now CS1 or CW1, CW2 that's cooperating witness 1 or 2. So they went from co-conspirator 1 or 2 to cooperating witness 1 or 2. Now that's my opinion or my theory. It's not true. We don't know yet. But it's kind of suspicious that it's a RICO case with no co-conspirators. I don't know how that works. Somebody has to break that down to me that's familiar with the federal RICO statutes. And I'm also going to look it up. I'm going to do my homework as well. But this is what I'm here for, a chronic conversation, not just to react, but to spark interest in the mind of certain things, how certain things work. Because I don't know everything. And after this, I do my homework. So I want y'all to do your homework. Why is it a RICO with no other co-conspirators? And if there are co-conspirators, did they turn into cooperating witnesses? Let's keep doing our homework.
At least 3 alleged victims of Diddy are expected to testify, including Cassie, and a woman prosecutors are referring to as Jane. During opening arguments, prosecutors alleged that Diddy forced the women to participate in so-called freak-offs and instructed Cassie and Jane how to look, to dress in lingerie, wear tall platform high heels, and have manicured white nails. Diddy's defense arguing the sexual relationships were consensual and not coerced, saying the rapper lived a swingers lifestyle.
The defense wants to say that these women are all adults. They're all consenting and willing participants in these freak-offs.
Defense attorney Tinny Garrigo saying in her opening statement, that may not be what you like to do in your bedroom, but you're not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. She later added, being a willing participant in your own sex life is not sex trafficking.
Now, listen, Puff Defense is starting off on a great arc because she is right. If it's consensual, that is not sex trafficking. Like she said, y'all might not do those type of things, y'all sexual relationship, but if it's consensual, that's not sex trafficking. So from the rip, they're trying to get that out the window. Puff got mean defense team. He got mean defense team. Let's keep doing our homework. Let's go.
That disturbing video was also part of the defense's opening argument, plainly saying it was an instance of domestic violence. Garagos saying domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, had he been charged with assault, we would not be here right now.
His defense team is on point. That whole video that everybody's seen and was probably assuming that video was going to damage him to the max. His defense team hit the Uno reverse button. Said, we're going to show the tape too. You know what that was? That was a domestic issue. They're in a relationship. Y'all didn't file domestic abuse charges. She's basically saying, y'all filed the wrong charges because this was a domestic dispute between a couple that's in a consensual relationship. And y'all not charged them with that. Well, I'm gonna find out her name. They said it in the beginning, but I'm gonna go back and find out her name because she's a mean lawyer. We ain't even get to Brian Still yet. Let's keep doing our homework. Let's go.
The defense said that Sean Combs may be a lot of things. He may have committed domestic violence, but those aren't the crimes the defense said that he's charged with. So in effect, the argument is he's a criminal, just not the kind of criminal they say he is.
The first testimony of the trial taking jurors to Los Angeles, March 2016, in the hotel where that surveillance video was taken.
Or that the vase and the flowers were broken.
The security guard described going back to Diddy's hotel room and standing in the doorway while Ventura grabbed her things. Inside, another man sitting at the corner of the bed.
So from the very start, the first witness brings the jury into that hallway where he said Sean Combs looked at him with a devilish stare and Cassie Ventura had a purple eye.
Sean Combs tried to offer him money, to give him money to make this go away. And he said he wouldn't accept the money.
The second witness to take the stand, Daniel Phillip, a man who said he was paid to have sex with Cassie on multiple occasions at several high-end New York City hotels, while Diddy.
This where it's about to start getting crazy. They got the escort on stand. They got the male escort on stand. Imagine all the stuff that he about to say. Imagine all the stuff he is about to say. Shoot yourself. Let's continue to do our homework.
Diddy watched. The witness said he was paid between $700 and $6,000 each time.
So Mr. Phillip agreed to go to the Gramercy Hotel to do a performance for a bachelorette party. At least that's what he thought. But when he got to the hotel, to the room, that Cassie opened up the door. He did not know that was Cassie, and that she told him, well, it's my birthday and my husband wants to do something special, so can you give me a massage with this body oil, and then we can just take it from there and see where it leads.
There go that oil. There go that baby oil. Let's continue to do our homework. Let's go.
Diddy allegedly in the corner masturbating, wearing a bandana over his face. During these meetups, he says Diddy would often give directions and at times tell him to step off and back up because he was going to get some.
Sean Combs's children, his mother, came to court to support him, but when the testimony became graphic, his daughters stood up and walked out. And they came.
Yeah, they ain't know they pop was into that. The truth shall come to the light. Bro said, back up and let me get some. Shoot yourself. Let's continue doing homework. Let's go.
Came back in at one point. The testimony got more graphic about ejaculation, about urination. That was too much. They turned and walked out again.
Philip also described witnessing Diddy drag and hit Cassie. When asked by prosecutors why he didn't intervene, he testified, "My thoughts was that this was someone with unlimited power, and chances that even if I did go to the police, that I might still end up losing my life." Cassie, who's now 8 months pregnant, is expected to take the stand tomorrow.
Cassie's the case. Cassie Ventura, who has not spoken about this publicly except in a civil lawsuit, is taking the witness stand as a star witness.
Her husband and father of her children spotted at court today. If convicted, Combs could face life in prison.
What? Man, this is going to be exciting. I ain't going to lie. This is the start. They got Cassie as the first witness. They got the bodyguard. Well, not the bodyguard. They got the security guard from the hotel room. The way he was saying it was like, domestic, maybe. But Puff tried to pay him off. Then from the escort, he said he thought he was going there for a bachelor party, and the woman opened the door. He didn't know it was Cassie. But then they started doing whatever they wanted to do. Puff said, back up, let me get my turn. And they said when it started getting graphic in that courtroom, the kids had to step out. Talking about urination, masturbation, that oil, and those freak offs. See, they were I know they arrived for their pop and saying innocence and all that. And even if Puff beats the situation, everybody's still going to be scarred. His reputation is still going to be tarnished forever. Either way the case goes, it's going to hurt him. It's really, really, really going to hurt him severely. Either way, if you face it life, definitely. If you beat it, but all your money is gone and all your resources, sponsorships, all that's gone, nobody's dealing with you, where do you go from here? That's all I'm saying. Where do you go from here? But Spill Entertainment presents Chronic Conversation React Vid with your boy Pete Rose. And like that,